If you clicked on this video because of the title, you may already be going down into the comment section, slamming on your keyboard, angrily typing. First of all, don't slam, be gentle. Second of all, wash your hands first, you're getting Cheeto dust on the keys. And third of all, let me explain. I've been holding in my hottest take about this game for a while, and I just can't wait anymore. Everyone loves this arc, but it's not for me. I think it was a lack of caring for the characters that made me not enjoy this arc. I cared for only 5 out of 13 of the new characters they introduced, and those were Elysia, Eden, Aponia, Griseo, and Pardo. Others I had no interest in, and let me tell you why. Let's talk about Kalpas. I think he is the worst character in Honkai as a whole. Yes, even Jackal's better, because no personality is better than being angry all the fudging time. At first, I got why he was angry and actually had sympathy for the Lalangi boy, because Hershers are evil and only a few of them are actually somewhat good, so it's only natural that a dude who had issues with them in the past would be angry when one popped up into his safe space. I assumed that he would eventually turn into a friendly guy, but no! Not only was he an asshole the entire time to May, to everyone else as well. I was probably the only player of the game that was happy when Hersher of Corruption got rid of his ass in Chapter 30. I was the only one who clapped when he died, let me tell you that. Right before he died, Kalpas had a confrontation with himself, where it's revealed that Kalpas doesn't feel like he fits in with the rest of the group. And oh, it's so sad, we're supposed to feel sad for him, don't you feel sad for him? Maybe if he wasn't such an asshole all the time that demanded to be alone, he would have fit in more. But no, you constantly wanted to be left alone. You start fights all the time, and these fights subsequently hindered our progress into dealing with the actual threat. No crap, you don't feel like you belong. You are the pinnacle of I am 14 and this is deep, dude. And I never want to see your fudging face again. I didn't like Kosma, but not nearly as much as I hated Kalpas. He was as interesting as Whitebread. The only personality he had was being overly protective of Griseo. I get that she's a kid, man, but she's also a flame chaser, and she's a flame chaser for a reason. We've seen her being able to fend for herself and be super powerful on multiple occasions, yet still, I think you're a bit too overprotective. You two are friends, and that's sweet, but you have to chill. Other than that, he was quite boring. I really have nothing to say about Sue, who was very serious, which I appreciated. He was no bullcrap. I could bet he hated Kalpas as much as I did, which that's a win in my book. His seriousness also made him very boring, and I'm not going to lie, I forgot what his role was in this arc. Forgettable, that's what he is. Next character. Vill-V had a pretty good introduction. They spent a large amount of time on her story, which made her stand out. She split her mind into 8 parts, which was really cool. Her story was nice, but then it got way too confusing for me, and I ended up not caring as much. The emotional goodbye at the end of Chapter 30 lasted way too long, and I will speak more about the emotional parts of this arc later in this video. We spent the majority of the Elysian Realms Chapter 2 runtime on Mobius and Klein. That kinda turned me off at first because of the engaging corruption storyline suddenly being abandoned, but I figured I'd give Mobius a chance. She seems interesting. I was wrong. I couldn't care less. I was bored the entire duration. of that scene where Mobius dies. Oh, okay, put your pitchforks down, calm down. I get that's a bad thing, and that's a scene that a lot of you guys like. Do I care? No, I still don't like it. It's okay if someone doesn't like what you like. We are all entitled to our own opinions, okay? Mobius was a wannabe villain that didn't even come close to being threatening, and I'll just leave it at that. These guys were all just there for me. They never really did anything. They probably would have been more interesting if I bothered to read about their pasts, because these guys' pasts were optional and you could go through them via the memory vessel, but I was not going to read more than I had to, man. It was already so long. I'm tired of talking about the people I don't like. Let's talk about the people I do. She's hot. She's hot, and she made it so that Hershers can regain their humanity if they try hard enough, which is a Giga Chad move, I must say. Go Elysia. She was a pretty cool character. I felt sad when she died, which is really all I could ask for. Her being the quote-unquote villain for Chapter 3 of the Elysian realm was really well done. I found her really intriguing, but ultimately disappointing as she kind of just stopped being evil. I don't know what happened there, but her mind control powers by saying please was really cool. In fact, I'm gonna try it right now. Subscribe, please. Do it now. You have to. I said please. Griseo is just a little munchkin that I love, although she's not that little anymore. I can't talk about her any longer though. Kosma banned me from talking after that last video. Pardo is just a kid who randomly got thrown into this craziness, and that is very sad. The rare time that I actually felt emotions during this arc. Her death was the saddest, so I don't know if that means I cared about her the most, but there you go. And finally, we have the main girl herself. This is possibly where most people are going to click off out of sheer anger. Listen, okay? I love May. She a baddie. But she does not work as a standalone character, man. Oh boy. I appreciate them for trying something new. It's obvious this whole arc was to grow her character, and it did work. I did like her more after this arc. That being said, she shines better with the other two main characters, Kion and Bronya. She is so boring on her own. To me, she was really freaking boring this arc. There were two moments where she was great. When Aponia told her she was going to die, she did her best to prevent that, and she was great there. And the twist where we find out she accidentally brought the Hersher of Corruption into the Elysian realm, that was a really good twist, and I thought May was going to blame herself for all their deaths, and that made me sad. But she didn't, which is good. Other than that, she was really boring in this arc, and she's not a good standalone main character. I said what I said. Will there be a battle in the comments section? I don't know. Probably. Most of my dislike from this arc stems from my lack of care for the characters and my absolute hatred for Kalpas, but there's some more problems with this arc for me that I want to talk about, starting with all of the emotional moments in this arc were so drawn out, so much so, but that by the time they were over, I didn't even feel sad anymore. I don't know what happened in this arc, but every emotional moment didn't hit because they were just too long. Himiko's death, there was a whole animation dedicated to it. It lasted for the perfect amount of time, and it left a lingering impact on me and everyone else throughout pretty much all the other chapters of the game, resulting in a sad teary moment when it's just brought up again, which is a lot of times. Another example I'll provide is this. Everyone salute the evil version of Siren. Bye, Siren. Oh my You defeated your Hersher, Kiana. Holy crap, it just sunk in my brain. You defeated your Hersher. Has anyone ever done that before? I don't think they have. Why am I getting emotional? Hold on. The game did this absolutely brilliantly. It was very subtle. They hardly lingered on it, and they quickly moved on to the next thing. But that's what's so great about it. It's the subtlety of it. I was almost in... you heard me in the clip. I was almost crying at that moment. And it was because of the fact that Kiana finally defeated Siren, the person that was tormenting her for pretty much a year, maybe more. I don't know the timeline of events between chapter 9 and 25, but I'm guessing it was about a year. So many nightmares and so much torment finally over. And it wasn't just that made me sad. It was also the fact that Kiana defeated a flipping Hersher, which proves that she is so much stronger than she believed she was at that moment. And then we have this arc, which kind of left me a little bit annoyed because this arc made me sad, but the sad moments lingered way too long. Vill-V's goodbye, way too long. Pardo's death, way too flipping long. And I want to feel sad, but I can't because of the copious amounts of dialogue in every flipping emotional moment. Do you get what I mean? Do I have to provide more examples, or do you get it by now? I assume you do, so I'm just going to move on to the next thing. You get what I mean. It's annoying. You guys like to crap on the latest arc so much. You say it is way too long. You guys like to say there's way too much padding. You guys like to say all this stuff about it. But I'm here to tell you that you are absolutely right about that. I'm not gonna deny that. It is way too long. In about 50 lines of dialogue of that arc, you can summarize those 50 lines in like 3 sentences most of the time, which is pretty bad. But I will say, it is not the worst arc in the world, because this arc did it worse. At one point, there is about 100 lines of dialogue, and those 100 lines can be summarized in about 1 sentence. That's how bad this gets. Yes, the pace was really slow in chapter 36 through 39, but a slow pace is way better than the pace being all over the place, which was what this arc did. I'm gonna draw a diagram so you guys can see. So the pace goes fast, right? The pace goes fast. The pace is all nice, nothing's happening. But then in these little moments, the pace just stops. And the game decides, you know what? Hey, let's give 100 lines of dialogue that talks about the same because they're going to like that, right? I talked about some of this in my video where I critiqued chapter 31 at the end, but there were 2 missions in particular where the pace just all of a sudden stops, and it just goes on this stupid tangent while saying the same thing over and over, and the story never really goes anywhere. And it's torturous. Oh, it's literally torturous. I wasn't even sad at all during Elysia and May's goodbye because, oh my word, it was legitimately a couple in the honeymoon phase saying no you hang up to each other over the phone. That's what it was. And I hated it. I wanted to punch both Elysia and May to Kingdom Come. And I just wanted to have Kiana back because she is so much better. I bet she would actually progress through the plot and say goodbye. She already did it once. She can do it again. Alright, that was mostly a joke. Kiana did take a long time to get over Himiko. But what I'm basically saying is shorten up the dialogue a bit. Alright, another example of this which really annoyed me was all the crystallized flowers that we had to go through. All of Elysia's memories were basically just Elysia meeting all the flame chasers, and the game telling us that Elysia impacted and changed every one of the flame chasers' lives, which is sweet. That's cool. 1 or 2 examples of that would have been great. Not 8! Alright, that was my rant/review video on Elysium Everlasting as a whole. Let me know how you enjoyed it. Please don't unsubscribe.